Check out page 75. Schreber, the madman. Page 75. Let's go down to the third full paragraph. The one that says, reality is not the issue. Reality is not the issue for the psychotic. And reality and the real are not exactly the same things. Reality is not the issue for the psychotic when they experience this imaginary proliferation of phenomena that they believe to originate in the real. Not the symbolic, not the imaginary, but the real. That's the important part here. The hallucination of the psychotic is an imaginary construction of their own making that they nevertheless experience as an expression of the real. Reality is not the issue, Lacan says on page 75. The subject admits, by means of all the verbally expressed explanatory detours at his disposal, that these phenomena are of another order than the real. He is well aware that their reality is uncertain. He even admits their unreality up to a certain point. But, contrary to the normal subject, for whom reality is always in the right place, he is certain of something, which is that what is at issue, ranging from hallucination to interpretation, regards him. So this is important here. The neurotic person never questions reality. Typically, people don't question reality. What they question is the relevance of reality to themselves. They don't question what they see, they question its import for themselves. That's the neurotic person. They are certain of reality, but uncertain of its relation to them, hence being neurotic, anxious about things and the like. For the psychotic, it's just the opposite. They are uncertain of reality, but absolutely certain that it concerns them, that it is addressed to them. That's what Lacan is getting at here. The reality of the phenomena that the psychotic experiences is uncertain. And the psychotic even admits their unreality up to a certain point. Now what that means is that the psychotic knows, and maybe even is willing to admit, that what they see, you don't. The voice that they hear is also one that you can't hear. They get that. They understand that. And all that tells them is that they're not sure where the voice is coming from. It's coming from a reality beyond the one that you as a typical person are experiencing. Some other reality, the logistics of which the psychotic is uncertain. That's important here. They're uncertain of this other reality. They don't know where the voices are coming from. They know that you can't hear them, so they may even be willing to accept that they are not part of reality. In other words, they may be able to partially accept that they are hallucinations, or things that nobody else in reality can see and thus are disjointed from normal everyday life. That's the first part. The uncertain relationship between the hallucination and reality that the psychotic experiences. However, Lacan says on page 75, the psychotic is certain of something, which is that what is at issue in the hallucination regards him. This is crucial here. The neurotic is certain of reality, but uncertain of how it pertains to them. The psychotic is uncertain relative to reality, but absolutely, without a doubt, convinced that the voices they are hearing are addressed to them. The psychotic thinks that if you, the neurotic, can't hear the voices, that they hear, it's because those voices are specifically, uniquely, and without a doubt addressed to them. The uncertainty of the hallucination relative to the shared reality that we all live in is proof to the psychotic that they are chosen, that the voices they hear are for them, specifically addressed to them. The neurotic doesn't say God speaks. The neurotic doesn't talk about God at all. The neurotic is not somebody who thinks God speaks to them. Not so with the psychotic. The psychotic thinks that God speaks, and more precisely, that God speaks to them. The psychotic knows that we can't hear the voices, but that only confirms the psychotic's experience that they are the chosen one. Paranoia is a kind of psychosis. The paranoid subject is someone who believes that a force bigger than them, a force that they can't identify, the NSA, the government, Colonel Sanders, the Queen of England, aliens, Barack Obama, QAnon, whatever the case may be. The paranoid subject is somebody who believes that there are mysterious, larger-than-life forces that are nevertheless precisely directed at them, out to get them in particular. That's how the psychotic feels. Yeah, you don't know who these mysterious conspiratorial forces are, but I know they're out there because they speak to me. So again, the basic line here is, for the neurotic subject, reality is certain to them. They feel pretty confident that what goes up must come down. The trees grow from the bottom up, and so forth. They're certain of reality. They're just unsure how they fit into it, hence the neurotic symptoms they experience. The psychotic, it's just the opposite. They are open to the unreality, the uncertainty of what they are hearing and experiencing and seeing at the level of the hallucination, at the level of their psychosis, at the level of the psychotic phenomena of their life. What they are certain of, though, is that those phenomena are addressed to them. For psychosis, it is the uncertainty of reality that confirms the certainty of address, personal address, that shores up their existence. Reading on page 75. Reality isn't at issue for him. Certainty is. Even when he experiences himself along the lines of saying that what he experiences is not of the order of reality, this does not affect his certainty that it concerns him. So the psychotic can admit that what they are experiencing, what they are seeing, what they are hearing, the voices in their head, are not of the order of reality. And at the very same time, and I would actually say precisely because they're not of the order of reality, they can hold fast and without changing their belief, their certainty that what they are hearing, seeing, and experiencing concerns them, which is to say, is addressed to them, is for them. The certainty is radical. The very nature of what is certain of can quite easily remain completely ambiguous, covering the entire range from malevolence to benevolence, but it means something unshakable for him. Unshakable certainty that what the psychotic is experiencing, whether it's real or not, and precisely because nobody knows for sure if it's real or not, is all the more for them. This is their unshakable certainty. This constitutes what is called, whether rightly or wrongly, the elementary phenomenon, or as a more developed phenomenon, delusional belief. What the psychotic tells themselves is something very simple. Since no one else around me can hear the voice, it must be specifically and uniquely addressed to me. The fact that you can't hear the voice is proof that it's speaking to me, that it has chosen me, that I am the chosen one. This is a type of psychotic experience that Lacan is very keen on sharing in this moment. 77, 75 pages in. One more riff on this, the top of page 77, and then we'll pause. I would go even further, Lacan says at the top of page 77. The delusional, which is a psychotic, as he climbs the scale of delusions, becomes increasingly sure of things that he regards as more and more unreal. So as the psychosis thickens, as the psychotic progresses, they become more and more certain that the voices are addressed to them, just as they become more and more uncertain of the reality, of the origin, of the source of these voices.